All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. And a very special warm welcome to all of you who tune into our curated podcast, the iHypnosis Life Coaching Journeys. As you probably know already, or if you happen to be here for the very first time, this podcast is a special podcast because we make it a point to scan the length and breadth of not only India, but even outside. And we have a very, very special guest in our midst. The intention, of course, of the podcast is to find healers and coaches who are already out there doing amazing work, who've already started on the journey. And of course, you get to hear their stories. Literally, you can be that angel on their shoulders as they walk you through their life's journey. And the intention, of course, is that you be inspired by their stories and also be reminded that you're doing what you're doing because you had an idea once. And whether you're flying right now or whether you feel stuck, their stories are meant to make you realize that you're exactly where you're meant to be, and that if they can do it, you know that you will too. So with that, let us put our hands together and welcome Ruchi. Ruchi, of course, this is your cue. You can unmute yourself and turn on your camera.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you so much for inviting me. And it's really a great pleasure to be here. And to all your audience and to everyone who are watching us today,
Yes.
we welcome you all with open hearts. We are going to share our stories so
Yes.
that you can also connect with us. So thank you. Thank you so much, Rahul, for giving
Thank
me
you.
this opportunity to share my story and as well as connect with so many people from the heart, from my heart to their heart to your heart and
Yes.
to everyone's heart.
Yes.
So thank you
Beautiful.
so much.
Well, thank you for that. And as promised, we'll use this opportunity because these are very special moments where, especially at a point in a time like now, where we not only get to spend some time together, but people get to hear your story. They get to be inspired by your journey. So maybe we'll start at the top. And my first question to you, of course, is, when someone says, you have a very, I won't even pretend to pronounce your full name, but
It's
maybe we'll
Ruchi
start
Mystic
there.
Flaneuse.
So tell us a little bit. So if like someone asks you, so like Ruchi, what do you do? And they happen to see, Ruchi, I understand, Mystic, I understand. I'm guessing that's Flâneuse or
Flaneuse, it's
somewhere
a
close to
French
it.
word. Yes.
Yes. So maybe we'll start there and tell us a little bit about what you do today.
Yeah. So basically, that though my maternal name is Ruchi Sardana, and after marriage it was Ruchi Bhutani, but
Mm-hmm.
this is what the name of my soul that how
Mm-hmm.
I call it. The Ruchi Mystic Flaneuse is nothing but it's like in my journey there were a lot of things happen, which even I can't myself even now I imagine like I go through all those things. So there was an element of mysticism, that's why the mystic. And the Flaneuse is just like it's a French word. It
Mm-hmm.
means wanderer.
Okay.
A wanderer and a female wanderer. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
feminine part of the flaneur and it's the flaneuse. So the wanderer. So I am nothing. I am actually nothing. I am just a wanderer by God's grace got to have I can say eyes or
Mm-hmm.
all the abilities through which I am able to see the unseen. I am able to
Mm-hmm.
see which is beyond the logics
Mm-hmm.
of a conscious mind. So I always why this Ruchi Mystic Flaneuse, because I always tell people I am not a guru. I am nothing. What I am just a wanderer, and with me, you can you can go by the journey because I believe in growing together
Mm-hmm.
because that's how reach out to her, no one can do anything alone. So I always tell I am a wanderer, and by God's grace I have beautiful eyes to see this beautiful world, and you can join me in that journey to
Nice.
see the world through my
Mm,
eyes. And
nice.
the biggest vision that I had been with me in my
Mm,
heart since my childhood is of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is the
mm,
one word, one big family connected through the
mm,
heart. And my core values also says that the connect and the love. That's only things that I resonate with.
nice.
So this is what this is Ruchi Mystic Flaneuse. So in that journey, through seeing the world from a different perspective. And what is that different perspective? It's like, we generally see this part, what is on the surface. By God's grace, they show me I can't do that. They show me not only this part, but this part, this part,
Nice.
this part, this part, this part. So I always say the 360-degree
Right.
perspective to see one thing. So that's
Mm.
what I am. The Flâneuse, I keep
Nice.
venturing, I keep exploring, and I keep seeing the things from every possible angle, and that's what I keep showing everyone.
Amazing. So you've said so much, and there's so many different directions that we can go. I
Yes.
mean it in a good way. So maybe what we'll do is, and that's one of the reasons why this podcast is even designed and framed in such a way that even for people who are maybe they know you from before, maybe they're coming across you for the first time, this is an opportunity for us to travel back in time with you, and for you to to share with us how all of this came together, because you speak with so much of flow and vision
Yes.
and heart, right? I'm willing to wager a bet that this wasn't all the time, right? So there must have been a period before this, and it could be as far back as you remember,
Yes.
when life was a certain way, and then of course we've all been through twists and turns of life. So it'll be beautiful to hear your story. We literally get to sort of be like both the
Yes.
angels, not the angel and the devil, but both the angels sitting on your shoulder and traveling with you as you walk us through your story and how all of this came together.
Okay. So, in fact, the glimpse of about my story, I had published a book also, Beyond Fear, The Tandav of
Mm,
Awakening, A Journey of
mm,
Love and Self-Discovery.
mm,
So it's just, 5% of my journey in that book. But if I have to share that story, so it started somewhere COVID hit everyone.
mm,
But somehow it took you know, brought a breakthrough in my life also.
mm,
But the journey started when I was about to have my first baby, first child. So the journey started from there for me. So it's like it started there, and when the COVID hit, it just took
mm,
a sharp turn. So, just a glimpse of what about me. So, I am fashion designer by profession, as in the
mm.
education, and then I did my master's in international trade management. So, I used to
Wow.
work with export houses,
Mm,
and by God's grace, I was so dedicated that even in the time of recession, I got the job,
mm.
and in every 6 months, I got the promotion also.
Wow.
Right. But so the career was going that way. So from that fashion designer to the full-time healer and the therapist, it's a long journey. But to cut it short, so things were going good. Everything was like just like a normal life everyone was having. After I got married, then we started our own business. So there was
Mm,
the first shift, entire shift from being a fashion designer to director operations of a IT and telecom company.
mm,
That's my husband's venture.
mm,
And from that, during the COVID time, what happened, work from home, everything was there. The businesses
mm,
was getting impacted. At that
mm,
time, we were working in 18 states in
mm,
India. And
mm.
apart from India, Africa was our major clientele. Right.
Right.
So from that to this part in these
Mm.
last 5, 6 years was like that. So what
Wow.
happened is like during COVID, I was being blessed by another second baby. So that time things happened. So what happened is like it was a miracle for us, our second baby, because we had lost all the hope that we are going to have one. But
Mm,
the day I conceived, that's when all these things started happening. All these, you can say, people used to say it paranormal, but for me, it was all magical.
mm,
Right? It was all magical. When the very first day, what happened is like the day I get to know that I am pregnant with the second baby, that's the day there were lots of questions that were happening,
mm,
lots of voices that I was listening all of a sudden. And my dreams, my sleep patterns all changed. The thing hit when doctors told us at, I think, 8 weeks or 10 weeks, 8, 7, ninth week,
mm,
and doctor gave me complete bed rest that you cannot get up, otherwise it's going to be difficult for you, right? That changed everything. And then there
mm,
were days plus nights, everything. And for people it was sleepless nights, but
mm,
for me things were happening. I was seeing things. I started seeing things. So the very first thing that time I did was like, I started getting attracted towards this energy world. I started getting indulged into energy world. None of my family anywhere. No one is into that. But then all of a sudden, these things came into picture. Reiki came into picture. Tarot came into picture. All those things kept coming into picture. I used to listen to these words during my when I am resting. I used to listen to these words and then I used to Google it. Okay, what is this? I don't know. Then I made my first call to someone. I was in Chandigarh that time. Right now I'm in Canada, but that time I was in Chandigarh. So I made my first call to that person, one of the Reiki practitioner, and I said, I want to meet you. She said, okay. I went there. And when I went there, that was my first breakthrough. I went there and she said, why you want to learn Reiki? I said, I don't know. She said, okay, what brought you there? I said, I don't know. What is happening? I said, I really don't know. All I know that there is something happening. I am being pushing towards it. And I got your number and I called you and you asked me to come. That moment she said, are you pregnant? I said, how do you know? Because that time it was just the 6 weeks and the final confirmation was not there even. It was only the home test was there. I said, how do you know? She said, I can see him. Okay, then what does that mean? She said, just keep moving. You are being called for all these things, not only for yourself, it is for you, it is just a remembrance, but it is for your baby. It is for your baby. That was my first calling. And after that, I'll say everything started getting downloaded. And after 2 months, I ordered my first tarot deck. I never learned tarot, but now I not only read tarot, but I teach tarot. So it started that time.
Right.
Then professionally, I did. Then obviously the pull was there. I was on bed. There was nothing to do. COVID was there. My husband take the actually the load because the little one was 4 years old at that time, and there was no house help and everything. That time there was so much of pull. I started having lots of visions. Dream state were different. Started seeing the stories. Starting lots of things. Talking to the soul. All those things started happening, and it kept happening. And then I professionally, it's like when you need it, they'll just come. So that's when there was I was scrolling on the Facebook, and then I saw an ad of a Reiki practitioner and I just enrolled for it. And within 3 months, I reached to the Reiki Grandmaster level. And I also get, be the member of the Reiki Council of India in just 3 months. And she was telling me, Ruchi, मैंने आज तक कभी किसी को grandmastership नहीं. And when I am attuning you, I can feel that I am not attuning only you. I am attuning two people. I am attuning two people. मैंने कहा, that's the divine wish. Don't know anything. I still don't know anything. And by the time by my first level and second level was completed, I was on bed, but I started getting people to heal them. So during my pregnancy, I started healing people, right? So that's how things take over. And then by the time my son was born, it was on 21st of August, right? That's also a very magical and miraculous story that how things happened, how he was born, but not getting into that. So next coming to that, after he was born, before he was born. So the day before he was born, again, psychically, I was journaling something. What was that? It was a letter from the soul to me where he told me everything for what purpose he's here. So I still have that. I still have
Right.
that in my journal. What is there, what I have to do, all those things. And by the time he was turning 1, it was like a major breakthrough because that letter before he was born and the next 1 year, it brought me to a level where I was able to see the past lives. I was seeing all the past life, not only mine, and whomsoever was coming near me, just looking at them. It's like the movies flashing out, and I started talking like I need to keep my mouth shut. Stop. What are you saying? Because at that time, my mind was telling me, what the hell are you saying? From where
Right.
it is coming? But people were saying, just say it, just say it. I was like, no, I can't say it. Then another guru came into my life, and I actually learned did my certifications in past life regression and hypnotherapy. So that certification was from NGH US, and that was the first batch, first time that there was an Indian trainer who was affiliated with that. I need not to go to US. I did it I did it in Bangalore. That's why I was telling you that I came to Bangalore. So that was my official certification. And then there was another program of hypnotherapy, so NLP thing. So I did all those things, right? And that actually shaped my life, because by that time, again, they asked me in the first day, what brought you here? I said, I don't know. They said, just do it. I am here. They said, just do it. Who said it? I don't know. For me, it was always since my childhood, I was able to see a jyoth. And today also, it was the jyoth. That time, they questioned me on that jyoth. Like, it's not like that. Who is that? You cannot let anyone rule your life. I said, what's the problem in that? At the end of the day, someone is taking care of us. So what's the point? And if I am
Right.
here, there must be some purpose behind it, because
Correct.
since my childhood, there was one thing. Whatever happened, whatever is happening, and whatever is going to happen, it is for a reason. And the reason is all good things for everyone.
Correct.
We can
Beautiful.
never imagine what they had planned for us.
Right. Just for
Always in
context,
surrender.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but just for context, for people who are unaware, could you describe what you mean by jyoth?
Yes. So it's that's why they also questioned it. What's that, Jyoth? So to me, I always saw a light. So just like we lit a diya, right? So I saw it in that form, right? Then people questioned me, what do you mean, Manika? That's my divine. Like, what divine? I said, that's my divine. That's what you are
Yeah.
asking. So that divine is, for me, is that, in terms of scientifically consciousness, right? We could talk about individual consciousness.
Right.
Then lots of individual consciousness make a group consciousness. Lots of group consciousness make a collective consciousness. And lots of collective consciousness make one divine consciousness. Same way, people stop here, but I say no. Lots of divine consciousness make a supreme consciousness. And then lots of supreme consciousness make that one consciousness, which I call one big human being in which the entire cosmos exists. So for me, is that Jyoth, right? So that time I was not able to explain, but in terms of consciousness, yes, I can explain it now. And in terms of, those who are very religious, so if we say Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the three consciousness, because there are three things, the Shaivites, Vaishnavites, and the Shakta followers, right? So if you combine all three and that one source, that's the Jyoth and the divine. That was for me. But now I am able to explain it in all the context of religiously, and then. And if I have to explain it for our viewers in a more detailed way, so individual consciousness is like we humans, or the things that we can perceive with our five senses.
Correct.
The group consciousness is also the people around us, the connectivity between them. Then these groups make a collective community. Then after this community, lots of community combined to that planet. That is your one. Then there are lots of planets, and then there are lots of beings. Then we talk about, aliens, we talk about star seeds, we talk about lots many things. So these are also the divine consciousness. When all these divine consciousness from whichever realm or dimensions you talk about, when you combine them, then it becomes your one, that the supreme consciousness. And in that supreme consciousness is everything. There are archangels, there are angels, there are, divine beings that we talk about. Then there are the spiritual gurus, those who we call, like, Mahavatar Babaji, Swami Vivekananda, they call immortals. They are part of this realm. Right now, whatever is there, different religion and different things, when they are also under one umbrella, that one umbrella is that Jyoth, the source. So that's how I define it. That point of time I was not able to define, and they used to tell me, भगवान किसी से मिलने नहीं आते हैं. And I was like, मेरे भगवान तो आते हैं. And I was so naive, I used to cry because I was not able to explain it. So my whole journey, that Reiki was one course that I did, and then this hypnotherapy was one course that I did. To be honest, that course is helping me now. Why? Because right now I am in Canada, and I don't need any certification or license to
Right.
practice it here. Though in India, I was practicing it all over. I had clientele from Australia, Dubai, UK, US. Okay? But when I am in Canada, now those certificates are actually
Mm.
helping me. So now I know,
Nice.
which I didn't know at that time, that why
Yeah.
I am there. Because I was already able to see all those things. I was already working on those things, but that gave me a professional structure and that
Mm.
gave me a boost to my journey.
Right.
Right, that gave me a boost to
Mm.
my journey. And these are the only certifications that I had done so far, but rest of the things, I always say, it just get downloaded. My entire journey happened in my house, in my mandir, that's been created. And why it's been created? Because the question, what is that jot, what do you mean by divine? Because people have that hierarchy, masters, spirit
Mm.
guides, higher self, what's that, right? So that question stuck in me.
Mm.
Who are you then? People are
Mm.
not able to understand you. Then I used to cry, I used to sit in my mandir, and then that formless took all the forms, and by their grace only, I experience all those consciousness
Mm.
sitting in my mandir, coming to me, guiding me, helping me, and then I used to use the labels. There was Rishi Agastya, Rishi Bhrigu, Rishi Dhanvantari in my healing. So I am just a
Mm.
medium. I am just sitting. They are coming, and things are happening through me. I just sit like that. That's it. Rest
Mm.
everything they do. Whomsoever needs to come, I just sit like that. And that's how during my journey, not only these rishis, but the Das Mahavidya experiences I had, not for me, but it was actually every time when they got evoked, there was something or someone was coming which I was doing something. So it was all happening through me for whatever reason. I even didn't know what I'm doing. For me and for everyone, I was just sitting like that. The jot
Mm.
was lit there. Apart from it, I used the dhoop and the agarbatti because I like the
Mm.
fragrance.
Mm.
That's it. These are the only tools that I use,
Mm.
and I am just like that. They
Mm.
they are doing everything, whatever they want to be happen through me. वो कहते हैं ना,
Mm.
करते हो तुम कन्हैया मेरा नाम हो रहा है. That's the same thing for me. So that's how the things. So the Das Mahavidya, and then pranic healing, then past life regression. Then I do the
Mm.
surrogate sessions also. That's my USP.
Mm.
So that what is that surrogate session is like, the kids, the old age people, and the people who are not in their state of consciousness.
Mm.
I do the things on their behalf. It's a combination of self hypnosis and going deeper to
Mm.
see there from what is the root of their problems, going there, healing them, coming back, and seeing the change in their life. And then it's whomsoever needs to help, be it Ma Kali, be it Ma Tara, or be it Rishi Dhanvantari, for if there is a physical ailment. So
Mm.
that's how it happens. So I become a medium for them and I do things for them, take on things. So it's like I always explain it. There is some person who
Mm.
is to explain it metaphorically, is in a mud, right? They are there, but they are not able to get out by themselves. So I get in there, I clean them, I take them out, and then I understand what is there so that the patterns, the things, they won't repeat because they are not able to go and see themselves. So I see it for themselves. I clear that mud, I come out, and then I make them aware that this was the thing, why this was happening. Now you are free from it, but you have to still learn your lesson at the soul level.
Mm.
Until that, it won't happen. And that brings another thing into my life, that is body consciousness. Right? I am being researching, not I am being researching. It's like they are
Mm.
telling me. So it's like the diseases where doctors say, no, there is no cure and you have to be on
Mm.
medicines every day, be it diabetes, be it cancer, be it thyroid, be it cervical, be it migraine. I work on those things, and by God's grace, people get cured. And no medicines, nothing. It's just going deeper tapping into your unconscious mind, understanding the lesson at the soul level. And the moment you get aware of that, the moment you
Mm.
learn your lesson, that's when you are free from all that karma.
Mm.
So that's how lots of things. So this was the journey, and that's how from
Mm.
there to
Yeah.
here where I reach. So I always say it's the divine grace. It was so there was a lady who actually helped me understand it. She said, Ruchi, we have divine knowledge, You have divine grace. And you know why?
Mm,
Because you are always in the surrender mode.
right.
Right? So I always say, I can't do anything. All I can do is this. And that's what I do. And whatever they want me to do, whatever they ask me to do, I just flow with that.
Mm, nice. Beautiful. So I have a question.
Yes.
There's obviously so much that has happened in probably the last 6, 7 years from what you've
Everyone, for
shared,
everyone.
right? And
Yes.
in your story, you've kind of given us like a grain of
Glimpse of
sand
it.
of,
Yes.
right? I'm
Yes.
sure we could sort of have a much longer conversation on so many,
Yes.
sort of like,
Anytime.
smaller. I'm curious to know, and I always that's why I really look forward to these opportunities to speak like this, and more importantly to listen to your story. So in your story, if you go further back in time, what was your earliest indication that this was the life that you were meant to lead or that you would be leading?
Okay. By that time, there were indications I was not aware, to be
Uh,
honest. The moment I started getting awareness, so my story started when I was 4 years old.
mm,
Now I know those were the
yeah.
indications, but then, so what used to happen is like I used to get afraid of because I used to listen to the voices in my childhood. And then there were, people around you. And by that time, there were no inverters and everything.
Mm,
So it was always like when the light is off, everybody is
right.
coming out and in the streets and talking to each other. So there was, I still remember the face. So there was a bhaiya, the, the neighbors, and
Mm,
he used to tell the ghost stories.
mm,
And I used to get afraid of that because every time he was telling a story, that night I used to have experienced something
mm,
at the physical level that someone is there. Since then, so I tried to tell it to my parents. So everyone was like, oh, it's just the impact of
mm,
that story. And
correct.
there is darkness. And that time we used to sleep on the roof also. And there was a trend of sleeping outside also, that everyone is
Mm,
sleeping outside. So I used to get afraid of because I used to listen to the voices. I used to
mm,
see the dreams, and some of the dreams actually came into existence. So I started getting more afraid of me
mm,
dreaming. That's when, so slowly and gradually, what happened?
mm,
I cannot. I used to never used to sleep alone.
mm,
I could never sleep alone. I could never sleep. I used to sleep like covering my head from packing myself
mm,
so
mm.
that nobody can. So it happened till my college days. And that
Wow.
time I don't need to go to the hostel.
Mm,
And I was telling my roommate, I can't sleep alone. Can you please hold my hand? Okay, I used to hug a teddy and then again do that.
mm,
But
mm,
when I went to the hostel, the things got intensive. Why? Because the
mm,
dreams got intensive. I was all alone there, and that point of time, first thing happened. I became a workaholic. I used to
mm,
read books. So majority of the times, I'm occupying my mind. Until and unless my body is not getting drained, I am working. Second thing, I started listening to the music. That time, my dad actually bought me a Walkman, and 24
mm,
when I am not with anyone, 24/7 throughout night, I am listening to the music, which is like I'm not listening to the other voices.
mm. Nice.
And then by that time, I was not even aware of what a medium
Mm,
is. I'm not aware of what a channel is or a psychic is. Not at all. That time, the very first hit was I saw someone going, and that came into picture in next 2 days.
mm,
I saw something that came into picture in next 2 days, and I started cursing myself because I saw that. That's why it happened. There was no
mm.
one to tell me, no, it's not because of you. You are just getting the awareness in prior.
Correct.
But obviously, there was no one. By that time in college and everywhere, there was nothing and no one. So there
Mm,
was just one friend. I used to cry in front of it. I used to woke up crying what I saw and call him. And
mm,
I'm crying like, he never asked me any question. And I'm very grateful to him that he never asked any
mm,
questions. And he just kept holding me until and unless I am not coming out of that fear. Because
mm,
after, multiple episodes of those dreams coming into realization, it was becoming very difficult for me to
mm,
even acknowledge myself. So I started staying alone. I felt as if my presence is going to impact people,
mm,
right? So those were the indication that kept happening. And then my husband came into my life in my college life itself. And that's when, you can say I started feeling that much safe that those things never happened. And all those things started happening after almost 7-8 years of my marriage. And when all those, till that time, the life was good, on the rocks, I was getting promotions, everything was there.
Mm,
Life was super cool. We were growing like anything, from
mm,
the job and starting our own venture, and then spread, expanding it to multi country. And then in India itself, we were working with the 18 states, which was a massive growth.
mm. True.
And then all of a sudden, 360-degree shutting it
Mm,
down, and for good 5-6 years, understanding what is happening with us. So then what happened, when the COVID hit, that time, the energy was very dense.
mm.
That energy brought back everything. So it started when I was 4 years old. I
Wow.
get in this all thing get into my awareness 5 years back, when
Wow.
they come into full fledged
Mm,
existence.
mm.
That's how. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm so glad that I something just kind of made me say, let me ask you this question because
Yes, please.
there's always a like a deeper, and it helps because again the reason why, like I said, we I want to know more about your story is because again this is meant to inspire other people, right? And I'm sure you know this, you're no stranger to this, but people who have that calling, that's why I call it a vocation. It's a calling to do the work that we do, right? Whether it's in the capacity of a healer or a coach, and what I fondly call the
Right.
healer coach, which means we're doing a
Right.
mix of both. So there's something divine and beyond divine that leads us, that guides us. For some of us, we get very early indications of it. Some of us kind of follow through on it. Some of us go on a journey and then we come back again, sort of full circle. And then we
Yes.
go, "Oh, okay, I see it now. I get it." So I'm so glad that that you shed light on how this came to be in your life. And I'm sure it will inspire others also to realize that no, there, because it's very easy to forget that we are special, right? That as mediums, as receivers or
Hmm.
vessels, we are unique and we are special. And sometimes life can make us not believe that or forget that we're special. We all
Exactly.
knew it as kids and then we forgot, right?
Right.
So
Right.
maybe what we'll do now, because
Hmm.
you've given us a beautiful background to who you are, and it's
Hmm.
almost like what makes you you. Maybe we'll kind of shift the frame a little bit to
Hmm.
one question, which is in simple terms, it's like, why do you do what you do, right?
Hmm.
So like in the work that you do today, what like you so far you've talked about your journey, which sort of like internal inspiration.
Right.
Now share with us, in your words, what drives you to do this work, because I'm sure on the one hand it is very fulfilling, and yet on the other hand, from the outside people will be like, wow, how do you do this?
Right.
So what inspires you to show up every day and be the mystic Flâneuse?
Okay. So again, like I told you, it started with my kids only,
Mm,
right? And
nice.
it started with my first kid. So when she was 1.5 year old, so a lot of things happened with her,
Mhm.
the paranormal things,
Mm,
and nothing was working out. And I still remember, I can still see that thing when she
mm,
was 1 year old, and
mm,
my husband was out of station. Because of the work scenario, he used to travel
correct.
a lot, not only in India, but outside India also.
Mm,
So all of a sudden, she started behaving. She's 1 year old, not able to, even walk properly. And then she started pushing me, some external energy thing. So it was happening with her, and it was about night 2 a.m. and I don't know where to go. And the way she was behaving, the way her eyes were, it was not normal. And
mm,
it was scary also.
mm,
Seeing a 1 year old behaving that way was something. Then I called one of my neighbor who was into too much of religiously puja part, but
mm,
he's aware of lots. So as a kind of grandfather,
mm,
she took care of my
mm,
daughter that time. So I called him and he chanted some mantras and everything, and she got to normal, right? And she was 1 year old, she was on the feed and everything. And for next 48 hours taking her in my lap because she was not eating anything. She was just on the feed. And I was doing the Sundarkand part for good 48 hours. I didn't even, move a bit. She was in my lap and the thing was spiraling. And one thing was happening. I don't know why it is coming. It is coming. The part was happening. The Sundarkand thing was happening. Hanuman Chalisa was happening. And there was a fly. I tried to, there was never a fly in my house. And then there was a fly who was there and was like, what is happening? It's not going, it's not going. I like, and then I was like, okay, let it be. I'll just focus on her. And the moment that thing got over, that fly went away. Right. So for me, since that day, the very first thing that was happening is it's happening for a reason. I don't know what. I don't know what, but this is happening for a reason. That was the question, why it is happening. So it happened, right? And because there was a question in me that kept going on 24/7, right? That became my driving force. Why? Because even that time I didn't know it's a driving force, but that was just a question. But after that, series of things started happening. One time or the other, something, one time or the other, something. And then too much, what extent you are going to take your kid anywhere and not knowing what is happening. Then I again sat in my mandir with the same thing. That was the first time the Shiva consciousness came into my picture, came into my existence, my awareness. And that's when I saw all the past lives of my daughter and me being together and what are the things that are still left. So I saw, so in a nutshell, if you are okay, I can share a glimpse of the
Sure.
story. So what
Sure.
happened is like, I saw one life, right, where like a happy family, we were there. And the moment, when, the parents had to go, we die, she continued her journey and she was in a grief, losing her mother. And the next life, she was aware, everyone was aware that obviously I am ill and I have to go. Acceptance was there, so everything went well. But after few years, the things came because when she became a mother, I had a pattern at the soul level where I used to go early. I had a very
Right.
short lifespan, right? And now it is not in anyone's hand. But at the
Sure.
end, nobody goes anywhere. It's just the form change, form to formless, right? Form to formless. That's how I communicate to the soul. That's how I
Correct.
communicate to the. So there is no different dimensions. Also, it's here only. It's just our five senses are not capable of tapping into that frequency.
Right.
Right. So I am standing there. She is not able to see me. She's not able to listen to me. I'm trying. Nothing happening. Then next life I saw that I started initiating or, teaching her how to connect. But that time she was not aware. So I saw she is crying and telling me when she became a mother, who is going to teach me all these things now?
Right.
Right. So there was a calling, there was a pain. Right. So in this life, she is the elder one. Before my younger one was coming, I was on bed. At the age of 4, she started learning to take care of me.
Wow.
By the time my son was here, now why I was able to do all those things in these 5 years? Because my daughter was taking care of the son. She learned how to take care of a child. That
Wow.
was the first thing. Second thing, my daughter, when she turned 2 years, she asked me one thing when she started talking, telepathy. She used to repeat it again and again. And then when she turned 3, she said, Mama, I want to learn telepathy. And at 3
Wow.
years asking for a telepathy when nobody knows about what
Right.
telepathy is, I myself wasn't aware of. So she brought to me that word telepathy. And I go, okay, baby, let's do it. We will do it. Right. By the time she was 5, and obviously my son was born, she was 1 year. I got that thing. So we started communicating at the subconscious level even more. So by the time she turned 7, so it's not in me. It was just the presence. She was learning it by herself how to communicate because that was what is left in that life
Right.
where she knew that nobody goes anywhere, but she was not able to connect with me. So she was meant to learn this thing. That's how things started getting downloaded,
Right.
and I started teaching it to people. But the best part is she is always with me. She is always around me. So in the presence, in whatever I am going through, it's happening. It's actually happening for my kids
Sure.
only. So that's my driving force. And then after that, when I told you the Das Mahavidya things happened, Those Dasma Vidya things happened. Why? Because there were lots of other things coming from the past from which I needed to protect my kids from. So I was like sitting there present. Everybody was telling me, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "I'm not doing anything. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening for a purpose. It's happening for a reason." Nobody was believing me, and everybody, I am like, had gone through a lot of things. You can't even imagine because you are fighting for it because
Correct.
things are happening. You don't have any control over it. The consciousness kept coming. They kept telling you things. Nobody is going to believe that. But
Right.
when my son was born, that was the point when everybody started believing. So what happened? He used to get ill. Astrologically, astrologer also said that he is going to have the the nose thing and everything throughout the life. He is never going to be a healthy baby, right? So things started when he was 6 months old. We went to every doctor, we went to every kind of person, everywhere. So for good 3 months, everybody tried everything. And then I came, I said, is it okay if I do what I need to do now? That's when I started healing him. And for good 6 months, I was holding my baby. He was vomiting, 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 vomiting. That's how he cleared everything that he was carrying. And after that, there are kids, there are weather change, everything is happening.
Sure.
He is all good. So then I, in his just to give an example to our viewers also, in his past life, he had asthma and he died at the age of 17 in that life. So the soul was carrying all the impressions of asthma. That is one reason I started researching on the diseases.
Right.
I didn't talk to people. It's like people came to me, they have those diseases, and I started. The divine started showing me from where these diseases are coming from way too back and how it is being present in this life. Why? Because there were lessons, there were things, there were understanding, there were awareness, there were soul lessons. So gradually, the past I helped my kid to clear because that was a soul contract with him that I'll be clearing that. And I didn't do that. The divine did that. They made me do that. So in that process, I become who I am now. So my
Wow.
kids brought everything out of me and made me do everything and let me not go to the people but talk to that divine. It's everything is there. So I always say scientists are not inventing anything. They just got the eyes to see what is already there. Because in
Right.
that bigger umbrella, एवरीथिंग इज देयर वी आर जस्ट तो अभी जैसे हम बात करते हैं ना साइंटिस्ट हैं जो ये इन्वेंट कर रहे हैं वो इन्वेंट कर रहे हैं नो इट वाज ऑलरेडी देयर इन द सतयुग
Ah,
आल्सो in a
right.
very different and a divine way. So from that divine consciousness we are bringing it to the physical
Right.
consciousness, right? So that's for me also. It was already there and it's just get downloaded because of my kids. That was my driving force.
Amazing. So one more segment in this context, like you've talked, it's beautiful how you've shared your story and from within to now, sort of like the external. Walk us through the third part, if I can call it a third part, which is today in the work that you do, and you've mentioned already you've worked with people from different, literally different worlds, if you want to call it that, right? What people call the first world or second world or third world or whatever, like how one wants to.
Just one word.
One word, right?
That's
But
it. Just one word.
people label it differently. But my point
Yes.
being that just for context, share
Yeah.
with us, Ruchi, it's like when you do the work today, it's sort of like give us a bird's eye view of like, or we are sort of like the fly on the wall, literally the fly on the wall, and just, sort of like what typically happens when someone comes to you and, what's that like? The reason also I ask you the question is because one part of doing these pods is so that people get to know you, people get to hear your story, and also, we don't know who will see this, who will share this with somebody else who's,
Who is
as
meant
you know
to, he
this,
will. Who is
right?
meant to.
So, so in your words, if you can share with us, typically what happens in the work that you do today.
Okay. So, like as you introduced, so before I answer this, I want to add a small thing to it. So I always say, it's a pomegranate theory. So everyone had seen a pomegranate, right? So how the seeds are there? They are all connected, right? So I call it's just that, one divine consciousness. So what you said, who is meant to? So that pomegranate, all those are meant to, which are meant to be in your periphery. They will be the structure hai already. So whether you do it or don't do it, they will come to you. Whether I was doing it professionally and whether right now I am doing it professionally, people kept coming. So for good 5 years, for good 4 years, I was doing everything for free, right?
Nice.
Because that's the way it was happening, right? But slowly and gradually, I shifted it to make it a profession, right? So that's now the question that you asked for what things happen. So by God's grace, I would say by God's grace. So majority of the times, I am aware of the people coming when and the things. So just to give you a glimpse of metaphorically how things happen. For me, it's like I'll say there is my healing space energetically.
Right.
So when the thing started, so there were first my closed ones, my loved ones, then the circle expanded to the extended family, and then the circle. So that point of time, I used to that since my childhood, I used to see a dream, right? So what I used to see a dream is like there's a very big house, and there is a swing, there is a Shiv Mandir on going upstairs, and I am sitting on that swing with my life partner, and there are lots of people, and I used to call them, that's my kutumbakam, that's my garden of love. That's my garden of love. Slowly and gradually in these last 5 6 years, from those the family, I started seeing green colored beings, and there were lakhs and lakhs in numbers, right? And my number is like 5, so I got to have the number 5 the 5,055 five, 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 five. So I used to see that person. So from last 3 years, what is happening, those green beings are taking the form of humans. First thing, so I know, and then because I am seeing them from last so many years, so I know the energy thing, I know the soul contract, I am aware of that, what is what there. So when anyone comes to me now professionally, how it happens is like they book a clarity call with me. So even before a clarity call, that's a professional part, as you know about Vishakha also. So how it's like, I am aware, we get in touch somehow, somewhere. And then the very first conversation is when I am talking to them, I am telling them, which they haven't even shared with themselves or anyone else. The first conversation is always a healing part, the awareness part, right? Which builds the trust. How do you know? I said we are meant to meet. Is it the purpose and how it's going to be? And when it comes to professionally, so I book the clarity call when the person comes. So the purpose of the clarity call is to give you the clarity and me myself have the clarity. What is the concerns? Because people come to me for the surface level concerns, right? But there are deeper things. So in that clarity call, I generally scan if I am not still not aware of. Sometimes you are aware of some people,
Sure.
but you are not aware of what are the things that you, because otherwise your mind will get you'll crash that my data. So earlier it used to happen that way. It's like coming. Like, I can't manage it. Then I made a system of it. So whenever anybody is coming in the clarity call, I am just know, they tell me this is the thing, and then I tell them what exactly is there. Instead of asking, I tell them. And then they
Right.
validate it. Ki, okay. So that's where the thing is, where, I am an energy reader. So I am not just telling you what you are saying and what you can acknowledge through your mind. I am telling you what is in your energy, which is going to be, energies never lie. So that builds trust also, and that give them a better understanding of what they are going through. So majority of the times it also happen that the purpose of that person coming to me, my life, is that the awareness. We never met after the clarity call. And I'm aware of that. This person is
Correct.
going, the purpose. So they say sometimes clarity call go to 2 hours. I never bind it with time. Why? Because I always say the purpose of you talking to me needs to be fulfilled. Otherwise, it will keep happening. You will keep coming and you
Right.
won't get it. The purpose is you should have the clarity where you are standing and what you need to do. So, in the clarity call, I give them the awareness, what is the concern, on what thing they need to work, and what is the path, right path for them. And then whether you like to do it with me, you are most welcome. If you don't want to do it with me, you can go to anyone. बट फॉलो दैट पाथ बिकॉज आज की हमारी इस क्लैरिटी कॉल का पर्पस पूरा होना जरूरी है. बीइंग अ medium, I am just a medium. So people do connect with me for the sessions and for the services or the coaching programs that I run. Otherwise, they want to part of my community where I keep on doing the free things. They can be part of that. Or there are people, that's the only purpose between us, and after that we never met. So
Right.
that's what happened. That's how it happened.
Beautiful.
So it's more about the purpose, the soul contract, and everything. So that is why whatever is there then and there in that now, it's done.
Beautiful. So one final
Yes.
segment, if we can call it that,
Hmm.
which is what we call the journey of mentors. Of course, before we get to that, I must say that it's beautiful how you've taken us through your journey and shared so much of deep insight and such powerful stories. So I know for those who were meant to listen to this, whether it's live or as a recording, at whatever point, this is really going to open up a lot for them, open up their hearts, open up their minds. Thank you for just being yourself, being you, and sharing your stories here. So,
Thank
as I
you.
said, one final segment, which is the journey of mentors.
Hmm.
So, if you can, this is a very, very important piece in the lives of people who are healers and coaches like us, which is, and I noticed this, like today we are now sort of moving into the 80 plus episodes that we've been recording.
Yes.
In the first 20, 25, I kind of noticed it, but it didn't strike until it did, which is this segment, which is the journey of mentors. It's so important to take that time to reflect on the people that showed up in your life when you really, truly were ready to receive them. And for me, I realized this is an opportunity for the guests to express their gratitude for people who showed up. That's one part. But more importantly, we never know who we talk about being our mentors. Sometimes they, in turn, people who are watching this are meant to hear about these people or meant to find them, or that sort of like creates more branches
Right.
in our listeners and viewers journeys. So do share with us, who were some of these people that stand out the most for you, who were your mentors or people who showed up at just the right time when you knew that, or when you realized that, okay, this is the person who was meant to come into my life. So do walk us through some of these stories and names of these people as well.
So the very first person who is my backbone is my husband. So he is the support, the level of support, the emotional support and the physical support that he gave me. It's, there are no words to explain that. And, that's his journey of being a emotional wellness coach. Right. So the very first person that I want to thank is Kapil Bhutani. He is an emotional wellness coach and just like you, mindset coach, NLP practitioner. You know, because whatever you are going through, if you don't have any support, you cannot reach here. You cannot reach anywhere. That is why I always say growing together is such a beautiful thing, because even the person is not, there were times when we were not able to even know and understand what is happening in our life. What the hell is happening in our life from a, normal life to something, it was a blast for us because now we are talking it with a smiles, but that time
Yeah.
what we were going through and nobody was able to understand, even being there, even, I really don't have words how to say thanks to him. So he is the very first person. And if I need to talk about the professional support whom matlab, they came in my life for a very short span, but what they gave to me,
Yeah.
my breakthroughs, is one is Mr. Sajan Galani. He is also a hypnotherapist, right? And he keep on doing his seminars all over the world, right? So he is one of that person and very, very down to earth, very sweet and very much aware, right? And I can still see his face. The way my first breakthrough happened in his 2 days workshop, and the way he was smiling back at me, telling me with his smile, "You got it, girl, go for it." The first trust that, you are not doing anything wrong. Whatever is happening with you, it's a blessing, it's not a curse. His smile said it all. So I really want to thank him for being here. And then there was another person in my life. He is one of my very good friend, and he is his words I still remember. I met him when the COVID lockdown partial open was there. So I
Yeah.
went to meet him, and the only thing he said to me, Ruchi, you have wings. Why are you not spreading them? So these three people I really want to acknowledge. He is Sanjeet Singh Paul. He is a financial advisor with Modular Capital. So you can also connect back with him, because it's not about the profession you are in. It's more about the person you are. Right? Because I believe in a thing, every person, every human being is a guru as well as a disciple at the same
Right.
time. For me, I always go like this way in a surrender mode. So first I become a disciple and then I become a guru. So whomsoever is coming to me also, so I am not healing them. They are giving me the opportunity to keep growing. If they are not coming to me, I won't be reaching anywhere. So I am their disciple. So to everyone who had come to my life, they had taught me a lot. I am who I am because of everyone. So these three people I acknowledged as in a professional and the other context.
Sure.
But this thing will be incomplete without mentioning the first guru, my parents. Right? Because I always say my parents, my mom and dad, they didn't only taught us, we are two sisters, what we should do. They had also taught us what we shouldn't do. And it is not only about teaching, guiding the things. It is about they taught us how to observe life, how to learn from life, and whatever is happening, how to learn from that particular situation. And that is why when there were valleys and valleys and valleys, and when I was not finding any hope, and wherever I was going and everybody was telling me, you are doing wrong, you should shut down, you should do this, you should do that, that point of time the divine hold my hand, because my parents taught me that whatever is happening in your life, it is happening for all good things. You just need to learn to see that beauty in that. Life is very beautiful. Life is really very beautiful. And it is, again, it's how you see it. So there is a very famous line. I really love that. Radha ji said, the day जिस दिन आपकी दृष्टि बदल जाएगी, उस दिन आपकी सृष्टि बदल जाएगी।
Wow.
राइट? जिस दिन आपकी दृष्टि बदल जाएगी, उस दिन आपकी सृष्टि बदल जाएगी। सो फ्रॉम एवरीबडी टेलिंग मी कि you are doing wrong, this is wrong, this is why this is happening, this is why your kids are suffering, you are, I take them and then I saw them from my eyes, which is that mystic Flaneuse eyes, and the life becomes beautiful. And I become what I was. So there is one thing, there is a program that I run, Unveil the Inner You, the Extraordinary You. So people ask me, we are not extraordinary, we are just normal. मैंने कहा, that's how people want you to see you. We all are extraordinary because we all are unique divine consciousness. हर नर नारायण वो एक्सपीरियंस करने आए हैं यहाँ, और एवरीबडी इज एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी. इट्स जस्ट हमें वो एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी देखने के लिए. सो माई पर्पस इज अनवेल द इनर यू नहीं है, वो लोगों को समझाने के लिए सेल्फ डिस्कवरी एंड इनर वर्ल्ड.
Sure.
इट इज एक्चुअली द अनवेल द एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी यू. वाई? बिकॉज वी ऑल आर इन आवर ओन सेंस, इन आवर ओन पर्पस, एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी बींग्स. We just need to unveil that. So somebody asked me, why you use unveil? I said, because you already are. I am just reminding you.
Correct.
I am not bringing it out. I am not making you something. I am just reminding you who you are. The
Ruchi, I
extraordinary
have a
being.
question here, because you
Yes.
said something very powerful. You said people sort of make you, put you in that drishti, if you want to call it that view or vision,
They give you
or
a limited version of you, that
limited
this
version,
is
right?
how
Or a
you need to
filter.
be.
From what you have seen and received in in your in these last so many years, what's your intuition saying? Like, why is it that people do that?
Okay, that's a very deep and little controversial also. So yes. Okay, so how I see it, as I received it. That's why on that mission of Vasudev Kutumbakam, this is the story behind it actually. So when I was on my journey and when I was seeing these things, we have time because it's
Yes,
a
of
little
course.
small
Yeah,
story.
we do have time. Of course.
So I have to explain it in a story and a metaphor way, which will help people understand it. Otherwise, it would be like, हवा में हो जाएगा सब कुछ, समझ नहीं आएगा. So I used to I used to say it a lot, think about it a lot. There is a sea, right? And एक पानी की droplet, water droplet is saying बहुत सारी बूंदों.
Wow. The second one feels more deep. The first one sort of is more external.
Surface level.
Yeah.
Right? So now see that droplet as individual consciousness and see that sea as the source. Right?
Right.
I hope I am able to make it easy for everyone to understand.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So during my journey, what was happening? When that droplet tries to be big, to be part of a pond, I think you got it.
Keep going. Keep going. But keep going. I love this. Yeah.
Right? So that droplet, when it's tried to reach out to people, to connect with people, then there is a resistance.
Right.
Because then it's a droplet. I am making the sea. The ego. No, you are not making. I am making the sea. But then fighting, because then it becomes a pond. Or you can glass of water, first from a puddle, then a pond, then a river, then the sea. Right? And now the other part of the story, the sea. It splits to the rivers, it splits to the ponds, it splits small things, and then the water cycle keep happening, the rain cycle and everything.
Nice.
Right? If we talk about why it is, it is again in the drishti of that individual.
Right.
It's not in the drishti of the universe. Because जहाँ पे आप river दिख रही है ना आपको, वो river कैसे वो आपको include कर रही है. वो community आपको include कर रही है. It's that droplet who is willing or not.
Right.
So to explain it, there is an I. One I which says I am the body, I am the mind, and I am having identity, which is I am using this word though I don't like it, but to explain it, ego self, identity self. And then there is a I which says I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the self, which is the Lord Krishna say, I was, I am, and I will. So it is the divine perspective, it's the individual perspective. So it's the droplet perspective and it's the sea perspective. And when people in the spiritual world say, keep on raising your vibration, keep on raising your vibration. So what we are doing? So I always say to the spiritual seekers, specifically, हम उस परमात्मा का अंश हैं और उस परमात्मा में ही जाके मिलना है. We are coming from the source and our purpose, sole purpose is to reach back to that divine only. Right?
Yeah.
So now I say, can you reach back to the divine? Do you have that power? Can that droplet reach to the sea back? No. उन्होंने ही निकाला है, वो ही लेकर जाएंगे जब आपका टाइम हो. पहली चीज. सेकेंड चीज, अब जब हम इसकी बात कर ही रहे हैं कि वो ड्रॉपलेट, और फिर एक और कॉन्सेप्ट आता है मोक्ष एंड निर्वाणा का, एंड एवरी स्पिरिचुअल बीइंग आर डूइंग ऑल दोस थिंग्स. सो आई ऑलवेज टेल एवरीवन हु कम टू मी, यू कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग, यू कैन नॉट रीच एनीवेयर, यू कैन जस्ट बिकम दैट. व्हाई? और वो बिकम कैसे होगा? यू कैन नॉट डू मेडिटेशन. In the name of meditation, you are just distracting yourself from one thing to the other. You are bringing your focus from one thing to the other, right? To become meditative, you need to face it, what is coming, and you need to shed what you are not. And what will be left will be that I. So that
Nice.
I am the mind, I am the body, I am. When you keep shedding what you are not, that what will be left is that.
Right.
Right? So that is one thing. So during my journey, I am उन्होंने poet बना दिया. So there is one small line from the writings. So I used to say, तू ही है हर जगह पे, क्या यहाँ क्या वहां पे, आया है आज समझ में, मैं जहाँ तू वहां, राइट? तो इट इज जस्ट द दृष्टि, एंड slowly and gradually, and you have seen, whomsoever is at a very that level, right? They are always working for the humanity. They become one with them, and they are doing, they are never tired. Whatever they do, you yourself are, whatever you are doing, you are doing it for the masses, right? How and why? Because you become one with them, na? You cannot do these things on surface. These things can never happen on surface. So it is the outcome. Whatever you are doing right now, whatever I am doing right now, whatever anyone is doing right now, it's the
True.
outcome of what they have become. They have become from that individual consciousness to at least come to a collective consciousness and moving towards that divine one consciousness. And that's how our soul journey also happened, where becoming one with that entire cosmos, one word, one family, one heart, it happens. You become that. You become one with that. That point of time, there is no identity of yours. So I have lots many labels, but as if in anybody, jo mere circle mein hai, if anybody asks me, so I always say I don't exist. I am existing because everyone is existing. So you cannot do that. You cannot just say that. You will find out even in a second what is fake and what is real. So it is of becoming that. That's why my all the coaching programs also, they are all experiential. Why? Because once the transformation, the transition happened, na, you can never come back. You can never come back. So my purpose is to reach out to people to bring their extraordinary. So once you keep shedding what you are not, and once that will come, you can never go back there.
Correct.
Once that droplet goes to the sea, that droplet cannot identify. That cannot come back to that single droplet. It will become that part of the sea. And then I had experienced that there is no starting of that sea, there is no ending of that sea. It's so vast. And you just keep flowing in that, keep flowing in that. And that's what we are here for, to experience. Life is nothing, but it's just series of experiences that keep shaping you, that keep changing you, and that keep bringing you closer to what your purpose is.
Beautiful.
So I think
Love
I
it.
was able to explain
Absolutely.
what I have. So it's your drishti, the droplet drishti to the sea, not anyone else is doing anything.
Nice. Love that. Thank you for just being you. And
I cannot be any other way. There is no way. It used to be, but I still remember that. And I am very happy and proud on that part of me, because that actually brought me here.
it's knowing that difference, like what we talk about the contrast. It's knowing that, oh yeah, I used to be that, but this is me now.
Yes.
And I don't know what that future me will be, but
Right.
this is the journey.
Exactly. And if you are okay, I just want to
Sure.
give this
Of
thing
course.
to my viewers.
Of course.
So, like Lord Krishna always say, that playfulness, even after he was doing whatever he was doing, even after the Mahabharata thing was happening, even then at that point of time, that playfulness with Radha was alive, right? So people say now we are mature enough, I have grown up. So there is a conditioning that you should do it and you should not do it. I am a mother of two, right? But I still behave like a 5-year-old kid. Why? Because my past, everyone's past, present, and future all lie in this now. It's on you which part you want, which role you want to play. If you want me to play the role of a 5-year-old kid, I can do it right now. If you want me to play a role of that, what is coming, how I want to be, you can play it right now also. That's what manifestation and things are, when you feel it.
Correct.
When you feel it, right? So your past, present, and future always in this now. It's on you whether you want to get stuck in your past, want to get stuck in your future, or you want to be in this now, getting awareness from your past, be grateful for your past, looking forward with the hope to your future, and being in this now, keep moving and keep flowing, right? So keep this thing in mind, that the way you are going to see yourself, that's the way your world is going to be, right? So I am not only I don't only believe in my garden of love, I know, and I am seeing it flourishing like anything. And that Vasudev Kutumbakam thing, which a child had a dream of, but that is not my reality, and it is growing like anything. And it doesn't mean that it had started growing now. No, it started from the very first day when I was born. So believe in yourself, listen to yourself, because nobody is going to live within you. It's only you. And you need to listen to your own voice. The more you listen to your own voice, the more you are going to know about you. My mom used to say, अपनी लाइफ की ड्राइविंग सीट पे किसी और को मत बिठाना कभी, ड्राइवर तुम्हें खुद ही बनना है.
True.
And that is why, from that hardcore, it was a very big shift for me, from a hardcore corporate person to switch into that. It took me almost 5 years to bring this thing out to the world, because even though I had accepted that, but bringing it to the world was such a thing because of that judgment, right? So again, you yourself are not accepting yourself fully. So stop judging yourself and listen to your heart. You are meant to do it. Start doing it.
Beautiful. Thank you once again, Ruchi, or Ruchi Mystic Flâneuse. It's been an absolute pleasure to listen to you, and
Same
kudos
here.
to you for, I know we're in different time zones, and you started your morning
Yes.
or early morning or mid morning, depending on how you
No,
see it.
it's almost about 8 a.m.
So thank you for spending this time here and sharing your really deep insights. And for me, it's always a pleasure to, like I always say, this is my secret but not so secret conspiracy to get to meet people who are like-minded, people who are, we are fellow travelers. And for me,
Right.
this is such a blessing that I get to hear your story. And as I said, it
Pleasure is
just
all mine.
is not just for me, but this is an opportunity for other people, because we live today in a digital world where more people get
Yes.
access to these conversations. And I really do believe that even if there's been one idea, one insight that people have received, and I'm sure they'll receive many more, but that's really the purpose, that even that one, literally one idea, one insight can change everything in an instant.
All right.
It's been such a joy to listen to your stories,
Same
and
here. It
you know,
was
really
really a nice time I spent with your and within your energy. So thank you so much for having me here.
my pleasure. And for those of you who've stuck around, especially till this point, you know that you are special, and that there's something about Ruchi's energy that you've tapped into, and a collective energy here. So we're sharing her. You'll see her links. So please follow her on all the various social handles, and of course, reach out to her if you believe that there's something that has really connected with you. And even if that's one way of looking at it, the other is, of course, if you've already thought of somebody, hey, you know what, I know this person will benefit from what Ruchi has to offer, what Ruchi is being. So do share this podcast with them. Of course, we will be sharing not only this live, but you'll also get the recorded video, which will be on both our channels. So please do share this, because that's how this world is, as you said, we move more and more back into being the sea, and
Yes.
that's what makes this life such a joy to live, and we get to
Exactly.
have these really amazing experiences along the way. So
Right.
thank you once more, Ruchi. It's been an absolute
Yeah.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. And as you said, so giving it a closing statement from my side also, it's more of being in the sea. Being in the sea is like, then there is no competition. It's always a journey of growing together.
Yeah.
And the more we are together, the more we'll be able to reach. Because, sometimes when you are not able to, then you know that you can lean on the other person,
Yeah.
or their energy will push you to the next level of consciousness. So that's what it is. So it's always growing together, and keep joining Rahul and keep grow with him, because he had that potential, and I really love being in his energy, and
Thank you.
hopefully we are going to keep
Yes,
connecting again and again.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Rahul, for giving me this opportunity. And it was such a beautiful experience sharing my story with you. It was effortless, it was flawless. And I was actually, as you said, I was the way I am. I was just.
My pleasure. And for those of you not only who stuck around, but just another reminder that you're meant to be here. That's why these messages are coming to you, and what you're already doing as a healer, as a coach, it's truly is what we call divine providence. So you're already on the journey, and these messages, these stories are meant to remind you that even if you feel stuck right now, or maybe you're flying at this point, either ways, just remember that this is the journey. So just keep showing up, just keep being you, and the rest will come from within effortlessly. And you get to share that vision with the world, and that more and more people are benefited by your presence. So once more, Ruchi, thank you so much. And of course, having said all of that, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And we will be back
Thank
with
you.
more pods, more truly amazing guests. And one quick shout out, of course, I must take this moment to thank Devasmita for putting this all together.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't get to know that there's some, we call it behind the scenes. There are people that
Yes.
are working tirelessly to make these connections a possibility. So big shout out to her as well. And yeah, we will be back, of course, with many, many more. So thank you. And Ruchi, one more time, thank you so much. Do
Thank
stick
you so
around while I
much.
just close the live stream here. Okay. And with that, we are now wrapping our live. Give me a second.